Welcome to another Farm Pop-In. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is our opportunity to share information from our friends with you in this time of social distancing. Generally speaking, we would invite our friends into the farm itself or our sister store, the Farm Express, and we would set up a table and we would share educational materials in time and chats and talk about these great products. But now we really want to keep everybody safe and we want to maintain social distancing, and that means less time in the store. But we also know that you're very thirsty for this information, so we came up with this great idea. Run and tape on conversations between me and our farm friends out there who have great stories to tell about the products that they have available. And today we are talking to Foria. I've got Holly Weatherington from Foria, and she is going to let us know about these amazing products, relative newcomers to the Colorado market. They've been around a while, but I know that there are products out there. Their products out there can help a lot of you in a lot of ways. And so we're going to get to the bottom of all that. Holly, welcome to this Farm Pop-In.
Thank you, Tony. I feel very welcome.
Yeah, I mentioned that Foria's been around in a relative kind of short period. You know, when you consider Colorado has had legal cannabis for patients since 2009 and adults then starting in 2014. But when you came on board in that kind of short time, you've amassed a huge following. I see Foria gear everywhere. I see the products everywhere. I see press on them all the time. How did you get your start, and what's kind of the story behind the company?
So thanks for that, and just to throw it out there, we have been around since 2013. So when you say relatively new, I guess compared to Colorado market in a sense, but the first formulations were happening in 2013. So we've literally been around since 2013, 2014.
Nice.
We've established ourselves in the Colorado market. But yeah, story of Foria, the Foria story is really a tale of plants. It's a love for nature and Mother Nature, and obviously the cannabis plant, but all of our products are made with plants only. So, we have a full THC line and a CBD line, but again, this all came out of this idea of bringing plants and wellness together. So
Awesome.
The idea of sexual wellness. So
yes.
if you aren't familiar with Foria, our claim to fame is sexual health and wellness.
Yes.
And a big part of what Foria is about was to create a safe environment to have that conversation. Mm-hmm. We at Foria consider sexual wellness to be part of overall health and wellness. Mm-hmm. And so I think, in most wellness circles, even cannabis, but outside of cannabis, sex is typically talked about separately, whether
Sure.
It's sex, menstruation, menopause. These things are usually separated. And so we wanted a way to take this beautiful plant that has a historical use as not only an aphrodisiac, but a major pain reliever, and from things like menstrual cramps to lower back pain. And that is really where it came from. And also the fact that there's a pleasure gap. So for women and people with vulvas, there was nothing on the market in cannabis at all that was addressing sexual health and wellness.
Right. And the crazy thing about that too is like all of I've got so many friends that tell me that cannabis amps them up and acts as an aphrodisiac in so many different ways.
Right, and that's a good point, because a lot of people, when you look at the historical use, because we all know that there aren't a lot of double-blind medical studies right now because of the nature of THC, but there are a lot of historical, not just anecdotes, but historical studies and things that people have done about history to show how they've used cannabis for medicine.
Right.
So, exactly what you're saying. Some people may try an edible or smoke, and, ours are applied topically. That's what Foria does a little differently. We get straight to the source.
Sure.
So, we have an arousal oil, we have suppositories, and typically that's not, that's kind of new, like you said, in the market, in a sense, to have topicals applied to genitals, but actually the pelvis is a very beautiful, rich place full of our endocannabinoids. And I won't get into all of that, but I don't know how much our
Dude,
audience
I am a lifelong follower of Raphael Meshulam's work and all of those early adopters and pioneers that discovered the endocannabinoid system and kind of helped to unlock its mysteries. And so yeah, listen, we could do 4 hours today on the endocannabinoid system and Meshulam's work and all his team and all of the subsequent work that's come after that. And the other thing that's really kind of that opened my when I started thinking about your products in this way, it really helped me to visualize how they work. And we think about like other consumables on the cannabis market that you consume orally. And there's a branch of those consumables that are designed to be kind of held in the mouth and absorbed through these mucosal membranes, right? Like the cheeks and under your tongue. Right. There are other mucosal membranes in our body, and that's what you were just talking about, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing about Foria, and if we get to talk about these topics that are either considered taboo or
sure.
Like, oh, so we're bringing that to the forefront because and I'm going to get to your point, our lives are fuller and more engaged when we're sexually connected.
Yes.
Whether it's with ourselves, with a partner, with partners,
yes.
And as well as there are a lot of parts of our lives that are tied to all of the things that happen below the belly button.
Yes.
And that could be digestion, that could be a lot of things, our nerves. So to your point, cannabis magically works with the endocannabinoid system. Our soft tissues are ripe with endocannabinoids, and the pelvis is full of soft tissues.
Right.
So the way that our products work, as you mentioned, is through that mucous membrane. While it is a topical, it is meant to be used, or it's activated when it hits those soft tissues and can be applied locally.
So is there psychoactivity, or can there be psychoactivity with some of your formulations, since we're going to be absorbing them kind of into the bloodstream through those mucosal membranes?
So that's a good question, and the way that our products work, and I guess let's
dig in and see. Yeah.
I mean, we have Foria Pleasure, which is our arousal oil. I'm just showing you the
bottle.
Please
do. These are great.
It's a tincture bottle that is a pleasure arousal oil. So there's nothing in this one, but you get the point. And so I'll briefly go over just each product.
Yeah.
But just so you know, our topicals, because they are applied locally, they actually work and absorb locally, and they do not break the liver metabolism barrier.
Awesome. Great to know.
Right. So that is why most people do not ever experience psychoactive, but because, again, we don't fully understand the endocannabinoid system,
right,
and there are cannabinoids from it, there could be some that make their way to the bloodstream, to the liver. So we have a handful over 6 years of people who have said that they felt psychoactive effects from our arousal.
Great, thank you for that answer, because that it's a question that I get asked a lot. Is it going to get me high, and will it show up if I have to take like a drug test? And the answer is kind of maybe to both, right?
Yeah, I would say that it definitely would show up on if anyone's getting screenings. I mean, it is THC,
right.
So there is the potential for it to show up in your bloodstream. However, it is designed to act locally, so it is not meant to be psychoactive. As a topical, it definitely is locally applied and it's locally absorbed. And because there are so many endocannabinoids in the pelvis, they trap it.
Awesome.
And they keep it all where it needs to go.
Awesome. We keep it harnessed, right? Yeah, great. So let me ask you, I want to get into the products too, and maybe this is a good way to do it, because we get so many people asking us, that are kind of curious. How does this work for me? And I'm this type of person. And what is this product designed for? Are there archetypes that you designed these products for? And what kinds of people or situations are each individual products kind of designed for to be best used?
Okay, yeah, great. I mean, and just in general, our products are designed for those looking to increase their pleasure and decrease their pain.
Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, right. And, there was an original kind of impetus to bring this to women, this female plant women, people with vulvas and vaginas, people who bleed. But in saying that, we're extremely inclusive, and the fact that all genders can benefit from our products. But
That's great to know.
Behind it,
Sure.
is that it's applied to soft tissues. So first I'll go, I mentioned Pleasure. That's
Yes.
our reptile oil. So that's our claim to fame. And you guys may have heard of Weed Lube.
Yeah.
We did not invent that. The internet gave us that title of Weed Lube.
Right.
However, it's, we've gotten tons of great press. There have been a lot of people who've reviewed it and who love it. But basically what it is it's THC oil, and all of our products are 100% naturally grown. We use organic 100% MCT coconut oil.
Awesome.
We use sun-grown cannabis from right here in Colorado, grown organically.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, any of our other products are the same. So just a brief on this, what it does is, people have called it a lube, but let me just explain that. It's not
Sure.
really a lube, as in it's not a glide. It's not
Got
glide.
it. Got it.
The way that it works is it creates arousal. So when it's applied, it increases all the blood flow to the nerve endings. So for a little science lesson for people, using the vulva as an example,
Yes.
the vulva is the outer part of the vagina, or the outer part of female genitalia, and the vagina is the canal. So yes, we're having a little sex lesson today.
I love it. I'm good at it. Yeah.
But most people don't realize that it's actually erectile tissue. So the vulva, the clitoris, all of that is erectile tissue.
Sure.
So it's very, very sensitive.
Right.
When this is applied, the THC increases blood flow, and basically through doing that, your nerve endings are more sensitive. So you have greater access to pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
greater access to potentially orgasm or multiple orgasms.
Mm-hmm.
And it also decreases and helps with wetness. It decreases tension and pain. So just so you know, I didn't realize this until I was working for Foria, but about 20% of people with vulvas have pain upon intercourse.
Oh, wow.
And 3 out of 4 people with vulvas have had some pain at some point with sex.
Sure.
So that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. And imagine, like, I'm kind of wrapping my head around it. That's a lot of people kind of being denied one of life's greatest pleasures, right?
Correct. That's a great way to put it. No, that was our thought too, is there are, what our product does is it helps people access pleasure, and perhaps, maybe they've never fully felt like they could get to that place, and our product helps them get there. But
Mm-hmm.
now they have the blueprint. It isn't like, oh, I have to have Foria to make it happen.
Sure.
Foria teaches you how to get there and helps enhance that, making it happen and make it happen bigger and bigger and better. Everyone deserves pleasure.
Yes.
And everyone deserves to know their own body. And so one thing our product that we're really proud of is we really help you get out of your head and into your body. So we recommend people try it alone, see how it affects them.
That's a great idea. What a great idea. And to kind of put a bud tender twist on that too, one of the things that really helps a lot of the people that come to us is keeping a journal. And so, if you've got some Foria and you're trying it out, like Holli said, solo, keeping kind of I like this, I didn't quite like this worked, this didn't work, I used this amount, a timeline, I applied it at 8:00 p.m. and I started feeling sensations or my pain, whatever your goal is and whatever you're looking for, and keeping that journal, and then that will also help your bud tender make better recommendations. So maybe one Foria product didn't work for you, but that doesn't mean that the entire line won't. And that'll help us as bud tenders point you in the right direction for your Foria products.
That's a great suggestion. And we always tell people to experiment with it. You can't really use too much.
Right.
But at the same time, and it's a potent product.
Sure.
There is 450 milligrams of THC in this bottle.
Yeah, that's huge.
This is a 30 ml. We do have a 10 ml, which is a smaller bottle, and
Sure.
that's 150 milligrams of THC. The purpose of that is because the THC is so potent and so powerful for those soft tissues.
Yeah.
And so I can attest personally, my husband and I do love pleasure.
Awesome.
We love this product. We've had a lot of great fun with it. And, side note, to people who already have a really fruitful, luscious sex life,
Yeah.
this is not necessarily for people who are having trouble. It's wonderful for people who maybe their sex life's at a 3 or a 4, and it'll get them to a 7 or an 8.
What a great point. I mean, we talked about that. Those people that are that are seeking to open that door, but people that have had that door open can open them even wider. It sounds like.
Exactly, it's an enhancement. It's not. It's simply meant to enhance your experience. So if you're already at a 10, why not go to a 13?
I'm all about. I'm as extra as they come, and if I can get extra and maybe get sextra, then I'm totally down. In fact, Foria marketing team, you go ahead and coin that term. I'll just take.
I like this extra.
I'll take a couple bottles as payment.
All right, I'll take that.
So you can use that. So we've talked about how it can enhance pleasure, but you also mentioned it mitigating pain, and I'm curious as to how that works and what uses they. I mean, immediately menstrual cycle cramps, day 28s, it comes to mind. But is it effective for those? And then is it effective for any other type of abdominal pain or sexual pain?
Absolutely, yeah. Our Foria Relief, which is the white packet, and and then we have a Foria Explorer, and I'm getting in. But our Foria Relief is 60 milligrams of THC to 10 milligrams of CBD. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of got ahead of myself, but we do have suppositories that can be used vaginally or rectally. And they were originally designed, yes, with menstruation and menopause and those types of, like uterine pain, endometriosis.
Yes.
All of those, uterine fibroids.
Yeah.
So there are a myriad of conditions for people, with uteruses. So it definitely helps with all of the soft tissues in there. And so it's a suppository. It's small. It's not very big at all. And I know they're like, suppository, but guess what? It's about this size. Look how tiny it is in my hand. Like, I haven't even gotten it out of here yet. And so just so you know what it is, it's cocoa butter and THC oil and CBD oil. Again, all organically grown, all fair trade sourced.
And safe, right? Like safe to put into your body.
Yeah, and a side note while we're talking about this with Foria products is we're completely mission, plant, and wellness based. So everything that we do, we're so committed to sustainability. And you guys watching this, ladies, may not realize there are a lot of pesticides in a lot of products that are used, even on the genitals, other lubes, even your KY jelly. I mean, there are so many chemicals. Was I not supposed to say that?
No, that's totally fine. They're not watching.
All right, I'm like, I don't want to get called out. But, just mentioning like brand name things on the market, if you actually start pulling out all the ingredients and seeing where they come from, there are a lot of them that are chemically based. Or even the plant-based, some of our competitors out there, they may have a good product, but they're still using non-organic cannabis or other types of coconut oils that are not sustainable, that may have pesticides in them. So we're very committed to purity because you're putting this in the most intimate part of your body. And the vulva and vaginal tissues can actually absorb pesticides at a very high rate. So it's extremely important that we are non-toxic, pure. We have everything tested along the way. But these, while they were designed with menstrual cramps and those kinds of things in mind, what started happening, obviously, is people tried them for other things. They tried them for low back pain, for hip pain, for colitis, things like that.
Sure. Wow.
Right. So basically what happens is, once the suppository is in, again, the pelvic area, that endocannabinoid system, it really stays localized to the pelvic girdle. And think of all the different types of conditions that are in that.
Sure.
Your belly button and the top of your legs. So it helps with a myriad of conditions that create pain in that area.
So if it sounds like there's something for almost everybody in the Foria line, and there's benefit to be had for all genders. There's benefit to be had for pleasure and the mitigation of pain, or the aggravation of pleasure and mitigation of pain. That's a weird way to put it, but opening up that pleasure door, like we said.
We increase pleasure for
there
sure.
We go.
We definitely want to enhance your pleasure and decrease your pain. And like you said, it's also smashing taboos.
Yes.
Because these are subjects that, they're there. And the people who experience these things, it's very real for them. But society has, in a sense, we've sanitized everything. and it becomes either a juvenile, we're talking about sex, or it becomes like, and it's like, we don't need to be scared of our bodies or other people's bodies. These are natural processes, and there are a lot of good things that happen, in our pelvis area. And there are also a lot of conditions that are only helped by pain medications or things like that. And, cannabis in general helps people with all kinds of pain, right? Smoking, eating it. So this is just yet another entry point for getting you some very localized relief. So it's great.
One of the things that kind of struck me as we've been talking is that, people might be uncomfortable asking questions about these products, even if they're, with our team at the farm, it being face to face with a stranger can be tough. And so if there's someone out there that wants to do a little research before paying anyone a visit and before accessing these products, where's the best way for them to kind of dig in and read about what Foria can offer them?
Well, thanks for asking. Obviously, like you said, we have gotten a lot of attention, so I highly recommend, obviously, our website, foriawellness.com, tons of testimonials. And then our @Foria Wellness Instagram has 95,000 followers. We have a lot of fun on our Instagram.
Yes, so you do. Yes, you
please
do.
Follow us on Instagram. Use #ForiaPleasure for the THC products.
Yes.
So our website is filled with testimonials straight from customers. You could go down through each product and see real testimonials, or we have a series of articles and blogs from somatic healers, pelvic healers, OBGYNs, different practitioners who speak on this type of product, but also this type of medical care, or I guess healing care in that area. So I'd say that we have a library of information for Foria. So check us out anytime at foriawellness.com. And you really could Google Foria. We've been in Shape, Cosmo, GQ, you name the magazines, we've been in them.
I can remember that onslaught, those floodgates of stories when people were, and I was one of those. I was one of those people online that I was fascinated. It was a very compelling story when these really started to get momentum, and I remember thinking, seeing a couple stories and seeing weed tampons and weed this and weed, and like, well, it's not a tampon.
Not literal.
So there is a lot of research out there. There's a lot of publicity and news out there about these products, and that website. We'll make sure that we've got links for everybody to make sure that they get over there. And one other kind of from our team, we have to be an adult to work in the cannabis industry. We're all adults, and we all have these issues. We all have these drives. We all have this knowledge, and we all have empathy because our company, the farm, rooted in wellness. We started as a medical dispensary. Both of our locations started as medical dispensaries, and that's still the core of who we are and what we're about. Cannabis as a component of overall wellness, and combined with companies like Foria, it really helps kind of round out that whole spectrum of wellness and how cannabis can fit into to meet its kind of therapeutic potential and fit into a wellness lifestyle. And so it's great to be able to team up with you and talk about these products. And I have to ask, there's such a great lineup now. What else is coming? Is there anything else coming down the line? Is there any new surprises we've got in store?
Yeah, again, thanks for that question too. So, at Foria, we're definitely pioneers. We're always looking at new innovations and how we can, as you said, utilize this wonderful, beautiful plant and all of its therapeutic benefits. And we are in the body and wellness space. So we definitely have some things on the horizon. Just a nice mention, we do have a full CBD line of products. So every product that I've mentioned here has a CBD equivalent. But they also, as in CBD, no THC.
That's huge.
They're sold e-commerce. So that's the other arm of our business is we actually have an e-commerce business. And we have created about probably more than 2 handfuls of new products this year. We have, Just to give you we already had a tonic in capsules, but now we have intimacy suppositories. We have an actual lube, a lube.
Oh, wow, fun.
We have bath salts.
Fun.
Yeah, so and a pain salve. So that's what we're coming up with there, and a lot of that we're looking at the THC market next, so next year. So definitely stay tuned. We're feeling something more towards body, pain, all of that we're still doing. So check out what's happening on our website, and it'll kind of give you a preview to what's likely coming in the THC market.
Give everybody that website one more time.
All right, that is Foria, Foria Wellness, ForiaWellness.com. It's like Euphoria.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. All right. Holli, wow, thank you so much. Super informative. Thank you so much. And we encourage you to ask us any questions that you have about Foria. We can pass them on to Holli and her team over there. Otherwise, we will see you next time on our next pop-up. Bye, Holli.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.